In recent times, the streaming space has not had a lot of great action work, so Heart of Stone honestly was kind of refreshing. Hi, I'm Pratiksha Mishra and you're listening to my review of Heart of Stone. So I was a little skeptical कि अच्छा मतलब Heart of Stone में ऐसा क्या करेंगे. But when I went into this film, I was pleasantly surprised. Heart of Stone has a kind of just like, I don't know, confidence about it, a kind of air about it. Like, I think the film has riz. That's what it is. That's what's so appealing about the film. That is just cool. It's snazzy. It's kind of fun to watch, and that's good for an action movie, I think, a lot of times. Unfortunately, ऐसी बात है कि जब Mission Impossible released the most latest one, that might take away a little from Heart of Stone क्योंकि they have a little bit of a similar plot line going on. जैसा कि Dead Reckoning में था, the latest Mission Impossible film, there was this all-knowing kind of AI, I would guess, which was known as the entity, और ये the entity के पीछे सबके सब पड़े हुए थे. In Heart of Stone भी सब एक ऐसे ही चीज़ के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं, which is this very advanced technology can practically predict the future called the heart. Our main lead here is actually Gal Gadot playing this MI6 agent called Rachel Stone, and she has some secrets that we find out starting में. I won't tell you what. Heart of Stone का सबसे अच्छा strength ये है कि it uses things like dramatic irony and situational irony to actually make a pretty gripping plot. ठीक है, there are kind of these there's an inconsistency बीच में, but वो आप भूल जाते हो because there is so much good action happening on screen. As Rachel Stone, Gal Gadot is amazing. The action that she kind of does is very, very good. Great kudos also to the choreographer of this action. The action sequences basically are very fun. We see Rachel Stone, who is basically the tech genius in the team, sitting in like a van with another person, Bailey, played by Paul Reedy. Paul Reedy is the transport and the comms guy. There are two other people in this team who are basically the field agents. That's Parker, played by Jamie Dornan, and Yang, played by Jing Lucy. All four of them have this kind of easygoing chemistry going on that is very nice for the initial setup. इस setup के बीच में they are kind of at a casino and they're trying to find this one person in this very high stakes kind of gambling ring that is going on. इस इंसान को ढूंढते they meet another person, Keya Dhawan. Keya Dhawan is played by whom? Alia Bhatt. Alia Bhatt's character is essentially a 22-year-old who is a tech genius. She is like a wonderkind and she has been recruited obviously by someone because she's big brain. Now the thing is that Keya is out for revenge, but उसी बीच में her morality starts to get kind of questioned by her herself because she doesn't know कि जो हो रहा है, if she's truly fully on board with it just because she wants revenge. This kind of conflict is very well portrayed by Alia Bhatt, but there is some comic timing that seems a little off here. It's not her best performance, but it's not like horribly out of place either. But I think that also works for her because she's literally supposed to be like a fish out of the water, so that kind of gets compensated over there. Jamie Dornan, great, just great acting. Anytime he has to like switch between his roles in the film, he does very, very well. And just the chemistry, just the acting chemistry that exists between Gal Gadot and Jamie Dornan is amazing to see. ये तो हो गई MI6 के बाद there is also an organization called the Charter और हम Charter से मिलते हैं. These are the people who have the heart with them and there's this big like tech thing going on where ऐसे हाथ ऐसा घुमा के things are happening. You're finding addresses, you're seeing कि mission probability का success क्या है, and we have seen this in like action films before, so it's not that implausible. It's again, I'm still fascinated by like very high tech in films. It's very nice to see. The best thing about Heart of Stone is that it gives its characters something. जो actual हमारा lead agents हैं, all of them are given a little space to feel things. ऐसा नहीं कि अच्छा mission पे है तो full stone cold ahead, okay, nothing else that they're thinking of. They are given humanity and that's very, very nice. It's so refreshing to see that there's an agent who is on the mission for sure, but is still in touch with their human side. यही चीज़ हम देखते हैं like small details, like they're literally governed by something that's called the heart, but they don't essentially always have to listen to it. It's these simple details that make Heart of Stone pretty fun. Heart of Stone, there's also a lot of other details going on, but I don't want to talk about that because it might potentially spoil things for you, and there are a lot of like twists and turns to expect in the film as well. फिल्म का जो एक प्रॉब्लम है इज एक्चुअली इन इट्स डायलॉग राइटिंग. द डायलॉग राइटिंग जस्ट सीम्स अ लिटिल जुवेनाइल इन प्लेसेस, especially Keya Dhawan के dialogue. Sure, she plays a 22-year-old, but even the way she speaks comes across a little juvenile, or that affects the layers of the character. Dialogues ऐसे हैं कहीं जगह where you can think of something that's better that could have been said, and वो फिल्म में नहीं बोला जाता है, and it feels a little off. और वो जो फिल्म का fun factor है, जो energy है, is kind of brought down by that factor. Screenplay in itself also, yes, it's a little derivative. If you're someone who watches a lot of the films in this genre, like a lot of action or a lot of thriller films, a lot of it might be predictable for you. Especially if you watch like the Mission Impossible films, a lot of it is taken from a lot of those films. But otherwise, as a film, Heart of Stone was pretty enjoyable, and that's fun. Finally, on the streaming space, an action kind of thing that you can watch and enjoy. Sure, you might forget it, it's not memorable as a film as such, but you will at least have fun while you're watching it. Director Tom Harper and cinematographer George Steele have done a great job in imbibing this kind of fun energy into the film. The camera, zooms into people's faces when we need to know what they're thinking. It holds a healthy distance when we're just supposed to see what the characters are doing. It gives us little insights into the plot that we wouldn't have already gotten if, say, we were in the film, right? And all of this is very smart. It's very well woven into the film, and that's very, very nice. The landscapes that the film is shot in is just fully globetrotting. So that's great credits to the cinematographer for kind of being able to still capture the story in that sense. So yeah, basically, if you can ignore the little bit of the weak screenplay and some of the dialogues that seem a little off and are actually hoping, praying, begging for a fun caper film and a fun action film to watch in the streaming space, then Heart of Stone might be the watch for you. And for that reason, my rating for Heart of Stone is 3 stars out of 5.